You're posting, you're speaking, you're doing everything they told you would grow your business. So why is it not converting? Because visibility is only half the equation. Getting attention is easy. Turning that attention into clients takes strategy. VoiceLab was built to solve that. This is where front-end visibility meets back-end conversion. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, and use podcasts, summits, and workshops to grow your audience and generate real leads. Then you learn what most people never build. A system that captures those leads, follows up, nurtures relationships, and turns interest into revenue. Back-end conversion. Email and newsletter strategies. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, workflows, and use podcasts, not just summits and workshops to real connection that leads to real business. Inside VoiceLab, you are not guessing. You're learning the how. You're implementing in real time. You're building a business that works even when you are not constantly chasing attention. Because here's the truth. If you don't have visibility, no one knows you exist. If you don't have systems, nothing converts. VoiceLab gives you both, so you can stop performing for attention and start building momentum that pays you back. If you are ready to grow your authority, expand your reach, and finally turn visibility into income, join Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi in the VoiceLab. Scan the QR code, join VoiceLab Group on the school platform, and build the business that actually works.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are in another episode of the Voice Lab podcast. A happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, and we are coming at you large and charged. And, hey, how's it going? Things are working. Good morning. Good morning. Here we are. We're ready to go. Everything is a little bit different, a little bit new. And how are you? We're going to talk today. Let's see. Where is all... my screens have just gone away and gone awry. So we're here today on the Voice Lab podcast. We're going to talk about getting seen, getting heard, right? And monetizing that. And what does that have to do with anything? You really want to look at what are you using to monetize, in this series today? How are you monetizing? What can you do to do that? How can you build authority by using your stage and using that wonderful voice that you have? So we'll really get into it. And good morning, I'm Nicole Borghi. I am your event to scale visibility leader. And I am here to share with you how to do done for you and done with you stages, right? And that could be workshops, that could be summits. We've got a great summit coming up, a little bit more on authority code. That is happening in just a few days. It's starting on the 19th. We're going to be streaming live with a speaker panel. So come for the conversation, stay for the connection, because you will absolutely be able to go out there and meet the speakers and get to know them, more about them. This is all about connection. Well, good morning, Colleen. You want to tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you got going on?
Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Voice Lab. We're so glad that you're joining us today. So, talking about stages, one of the things that you really need when you're coming off the stage, I know Nicole's going to get you on the stage. She's going to teach you all the things you need to know about being on the stage presence, how to do it right, all those things. But I'm going to teach you what to do with your leads afterwards. And so one of the things that we do is we set up automations, and you can learn all about that this week in my masterclass on Wednesday, May 13th at 11 a.m. I will drop the link everywhere for you, but the masterclass is set it to serve them. And that is the reason that we set up our automations, is so that we can more fully serve the leads that we get from being on stages, the people that come into our world. We want to be able to serve them in a personalized way and make sure that we're consistent in our deliverability to them. So I'm Colleen Stubbs, the founder of Simplified CRM Systems. And you heard that right. You can actually simplify your business and scale to success. You can do it in a simplified way. And when you do that and you simplify everything in your business and you have confidence that everything is being delivered, you're able to show up with clarity and also have more time freedom to be able to build the life that you love. So doesn't that sound like a dream for every entrepreneur out there in the world, right?
Well, doesn't it? Because we want to build a better strategy, and that is not just the front end on the stage, but it's the back end as well. What are you doing to do that, right? Most entrepreneurs are out there chasing followers, the influencers. You want to build your influence. And that's good. You do want to connect with people. You do want to absolutely build your list. You want to get out there. You want to build your list. You want to grow as a person. What can you do to engage as well? So it's not just the numbers. It's not just the data. It's the engagement. That way people get to know, like, and trust you and get to know more about who you are and what you're doing in the world and how are you feeding that monster, right? There's a lot of AI out there. There's a lot of systems that can help you. But if you buy all these systems and you don't know how they integrate or come together, it's not going to work. The best thing is to go out there and talk to people and be there. And that's exactly what we're doing here today, is really with summits, with workshops, and with live podcasting. What are you doing to reach your audience? Are you collaborating? That is basically the same, right? So what are you doing? Are you using your channels? Are you using your feed? Are you getting out there? What channels are you getting on, right? Are you getting out there? Are you commenting? Are people coming to you? Are you going to see other people's podcasts? Are you engaging on social media? This is how you bring that audience. But you got to remember, you've got to always feed that beast. And how are you doing it? How are you getting out there? How are you talking to people? What's your tone and voice? If you just set AI up, AI is a seed. It is artificial intelligence. There is an intelligence to it. But if you let that big machine go out there and say everything for you and do everything for you, are you looking at that you're missing that personality and that uniqueness that's going to help you stand out? And then wondering why you're the best kept secret, or wondering why nobody really wants to stay with you because you're very cookie cutter, right? You're kind of vanilla. You don't stand out there. There's no personality. There's no give and take, right? People want to see who you are. They want to get to know you. And it may be people aren't perfect, right? When we talk about it, Colleen, the other day we've had conversations about speakers. Hey, they're a little different, right? Well, that's okay. We want people to stand out. And yeah, there's some mannerisms, there's some things you shouldn't do, can be kind of rudimentary in a sense. I think those simple things that you could find, your list of three, your top 10 of things not to do, and so whatever. Take those out with Toastmasters. You don't want to say it all the time. You want a few in there. People bring it back, right? Maybe you don't want to you do want to brush your hair. Those things, simple. You should know that as a human being anyway. If we have to teach that to you, then you're not ready to be at that class yet. So let's move to that next person. So how do we do this? Where do we shine? How do we get on camera? And it's the fact that you show up and the fact that you're here engaging. And I think it definitely helps if you're not just out there doing it alone, because you can't be successful alone, right? Right, Colleen, where it is your business and you have to build that community. And who are you talking to? Are you just talking to boxes, or are you actually engaging?
I love that, Nicole. But getting back to strategy, when you said that, one of the things that stuck out to me is that, like, your business has, let's say that your business has four walls, just like your home would have four exterior walls, right? Um, let's say that your strategy is how you utilize the space inside. Sometimes you walk into one of these and you're like, this looks just like the neighbor's house. They all have a pink door or whatever it is. And then you come in and you're like, okay, and you don't even need to give me a tour, because I know to the left is two bedrooms and a bathroom, and to the right is the kitchen. And that's not the kind of house, number one, anybody wants, or anybody wants to buy, or anybody wants to live in. And so your strategy inside your business needs to be unique to you. It needs to utilize all of the spaces, and it needs to do it in a very creative and well-functioning way for you. And that includes your strategy on stage. If you're just jumping on stages, congratulations. So is 90% of the rest of people. And so you just classified yourself as that cookie cutter house, that cookie cutter business. If you step up there and you have something that's a little bit unique, maybe it's the way that you present, maybe it's your mannerisms, maybe it's the laid back way that you approach things. Maybe it's how you start your presentation every time. Whatever your unique idiosyncrasy is, that thing is going to set you apart. And so be memorable, be unique for the best of reasons, though. Like Nicole was saying, don't come with your hair a mess and no bra, because this isn't the stage for you, sis. There's a place for you, and it's not on that stage. But we want you to come on and be your very best self. That's the thing. Nobody wants you to change. Nobody wants you to mold. We want you to elevate, create a better stage strategy. So you go out there with a plan. And you know what? I'm just going to throw a Kimberly Crow moment out there for you. Can I just say I did it? I bought the box, right? Do you know what this is? This is a little timer that Kimberly Crow showed us. And it
Little.
really, well, it's big enough for my old eyes to see. But it really sets the tone of my presentation and helps me to stay on track. And so there are things you can do to create a good, easy flowing, consistent and successful strategy for your stage. Nicole, what other tips and things do we have talking about that? We have gone over the fact that we don't need a bigger audience. Think of it like this. If you have a store and 20 people come in to buy something from you, hello, that's amazing. It's so much better than having 500 people come in, wander around, spill soda. I know this because when I owned Chicken Lips, we were right on the square across from the gazebo. They closed down Main Street for every holiday and do a parade and all the things. I would open my store so that people would have air conditioning to get into. I opened it on all these days, not because they were great, successful business days, but because I was doing a service to the public. But what it became was people would come in, walk around, spill their soda, tromp all over, kids everywhere, just a hot mess. And those were not my favorite days in my business. My favorite days were where I had 20 clients come in and drop $200 to $600 each, knowing specifically what they want. And so it's not that you need more people running around your business. You need the right ones in there, and you need to pay attention to them and help them become the right ones.
Right, exactly. So really it's you're building that authenticness, you're building that uniqueness with your stage, but where you're also talking about with that uniqueness is that you're in service, and you're always in service and opening your doors to the public to say, hey, people can look around here. How many people are going to talk about you? How many people are going to say, hey, I ducked into Chicken Lips because it was so darn hot out there. I'm sweating. Everything is just sweating. I feel like I'm stuck in a swamp. It's hot. It's humid. But I jumped into Chicken Lips. And how many times is that going to roll off their tongue? And they're either going to look you up online, they're going to maybe buy something, call you now, or just the neighbors. They get to know you. They say hello, right? And that's exactly what you want to establish on your stage. You really want to say, hey, you have got to take first, if you want to talk about, we're talking about strategy. So it's command and control. If you have to jump in because you've got a speaker on your stage going on and on and on, and your audience isn't participating because they've either tuned out or there's just not something that they feel a connection to, right? People don't just necessarily tune out if they don't feel a connection. That's the time to jump in as a stage host. Give it a pause. You want to give it a few seconds, right? You want to say, hey, okay, how's this topic? How's this person talking? Give it a minute or two, and then go, all right, with your timer and you have to be cognizant as that stage host to the time. Let people know, I'm going to cut you off. Don't be afraid. Don't be bewildered. I'm just going to jump in here and say, hey, you got 5 minutes, right? We're cutting time. And maybe that 5 minutes is that's an extra 5 minutes over. I give a cushion to my speakers because if they're talking back to back, sometimes people are late. Sometimes people go over, or maybe, just maybe, you need a plan because there's an audience member that's excited to talk to you. So even when your event is over, leave time in the room, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's a networking group. Give yourself grace and give your audience grace to have 15 to 30 minutes, which is nothing in the long run, to talk to that group of people, because it's just like being open on those hot days. You want to give that time. So if you're scheduling calls, if you're trying to jump off, maybe you have to excuse yourself for a few minutes. Let someone else take over the room. That's why it's great to have a co-host or a host or somebody that's emceeing the event take over. If you need to run and step away to the bathroom, go get a cup of tea, answer your door, whatever it is, because we're in Zoom land and our rush hour traffic these days, give grace to those moments. Don't just cut it off, because that's the time where people are going to raise their hand. That's the time where people are going to say, hey, I need to share this, and maybe they don't want to share it live. Maybe they want to share it private. So give them a moment. Not everything has to be recorded. If you give them that grace and you give yourself that grace, people will remember those moments. And then if they just start chit chat and say, hey, I've got to cut this off, guys, and we'll come back next week. We'll have a few minutes before. I'll open the room 15 minutes ahead. We may leave the room 15 to 30 minutes over at the end time. If you have 30 and you want to make sure that in your mind you're cutting the time off, let them know. It's housekeeping. So what are you saying today? It's the housekeeping. You talk about your ads, you talk about your events that are going on. Guide people, tell them where they're going, and let your speakers know. So circling back to that speaker, I didn't forget that. But also when you're coming back to the speakers and you're saying, hey, this guy's talking on, gal, whoever it is going on and on. Maybe it's not that important point, but are they just saying silly things they feel they need to throw in? And maybe the audience isn't engaging because they're not giving the audience a chance. Maybe the audience has heard it 100 million times. Again, going back to the cookie cutter moment. But you also want to remember that your audience is dedicated that time. So as a good stage host, you chime in. First, if they're going a couple minutes over, reach out to them in a private chat. Let them know, hey, when we're live, I'm going to private chat you. If there's a room, a big room of people, and there's other people, you want to kindly private chat them. Hey, you're coming over time. That means that you as a stage host, you as the speaker, need to come in and say, hey, I've got to cut it short. Maybe I had 45 minutes, but today I'm going to have 30. You need to stop those slides and go, oh, I got 20 more slides. We're going to be here a while. No, you need to cut that off. Or maybe there is somebody on the stage that is doing things, they're moving around, but the audience is engaging. Maybe they like the quirks of that person. Whether it's good hand gestures, whether it's good ands and ums, but the audience is connecting, make sure as a stage host that you're able to pivot that and go, oh, okay, this is good. And and then stop them and say, hey, just so you know, guys, and you don't have to call out your speaker. You don't have to call out your guest. If you have an audience in the room, just say, hey, Bob or Susie, I'm going to jump in. And hey, guys, we have a break for a second. I want to tell you that right now it's 9:24, but at 9:45, we're going to take Q&A. So just remind people. So take those little breaks to make a little special announcement, throw it in the chat. We want everybody to be there. But if you have a guidance, then other people know and a co-host will know when to jump in. I think those are just good things to talk about. And then with your call to action. So remember, really, it all goes back to that experience that you have. And then Colleen, you're really good about this. You reach out with the email or the social media and say, hey, I learned this lesson today, or we learned this. Maybe we had a call today and I thought this, but my audience thought that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I want to talk a little bit about leveraging existing attention and strategic visibility versus random posting. I'm gonna throw this back. I don't know why I'm on a chicken lips blitz today, but here we're going. So in the brick and mortar world, where I began automating, delegating, collaborating, all of these things, I know that after strategically watching the revenue of the town, not just my own, I knew when busy times were and slow times were and what the pattern was. You get to know that in business, right? And so I created an event. You can compare this to a summit that would happen before Christmas. And it involved all of the businesses downtown. We invited everybody to join. Actually, we invited all the businesses in town, and we kind of gave them space in our business. So, for instance, at Chicken Lips, I also had Linda Francis come in. She's a realtor, and she had a table set up. I also allowed Apple Market, which is a grocery store, to come in and decorate one of my windows, so that they were brought into the downtown atmosphere. And what they did is on this evening before Christmas, they closed down downtown And so people could walk safely, and they would go from business to business. Each business that wanted to be there or wanted to be represented would have something going on that they shared with people. For instance, at Chicken Lips, you could come in and get your picture taken with the real Santa Claus. Linda Francis then, in collaboration with me, gave out picture frames that you could put your picture in when you got it back. Casey, why I can't think of her last name, I allowed her to come in and actually take the pictures as a part of her business. And she would develop those pictures and give them to people. Then you could go around the corner to the insurance agent and make an ornament. You could go down the street to the bakery and make a sugar cookie and decorate it. You could go to each of the businesses and do something different, much like having many different speakers and collaborators, right? And so what that did is we brought the last time that we did that, we did this for 7 years. The last time that we did that, we had over 400 families, 400 families, 400 families that sat with Santa. And this is in a town of maybe 2,200 people total. So a huge amount of people came through that evening. We were not selling things. We were not open to sell things. We did not do that. We actually kind of pushed things back a little bit to make room for the long line of people that were waiting to get on Santa's lap, right? But what it did was the visibility thing, right? We leveraged the attention because everybody invited people. Everybody broadcast this as well as having on the radio. Everybody brought people in, just like all of your speakers are going to email their list and bring everybody in. So the thing is, then you want to leverage all of that attention that you're getting that's already there because of the event, because of your collaborators. So leverage that. These are people that are going to get on your list as well. So you really want to utilize that, just like I wanted to showcase my store and let people see who maybe would never be in there or have never been in there before. Maybe they only go to the post office on the regular basis. Maybe they didn't know Chicken Lips existed, but now they're in this store going, oh my gosh, next time I need a gift, this is an amazing place to come get one, right? You want to leverage that existing attention and you want to be very strategic about your visibility. You want to make sure that you're giving away something of value. The pictures with Santa Claus, the picture frame that correlates with it, whatever that is, so that people have something that they take with them that they can go, oh, okay, this is connected to this. And that works much like your nurture sequence that follows up afterwards, your emails that you're going to be sending out afterwards that are saying, hey, this is what we learned during the summit. Did you also hear that Nicole spoke about this? And that really correlated with what I was speaking about. Here's a link if you're interested in getting on Nicole's calendar. And it's called leveraging existing attention, getting strategically visible, things like that, that are to make a difference between just randomly posting something, randomly popping up in a summit or presenting something, and having a plan. The plan is what moves the needle in your business. You've got to be very strategic about having a plan. Just showing up doesn't do it anymore because everybody wants to show up. What are your thoughts on that, Nicole?
Well, 100%. So why is this? Okay, there we go. So I think that with what you have going on in there, what you're talking about with Chicken Lips, I love this example because it's marketing, it's serving, it's loving, it's your passion, it's your purpose, and you're leading by example. And 400 families, was that like about a quarter of your town at least, or maybe even a third in there? And
Sure.
and that's huge. That's huge. How if you were averaging out those leads and you're at like $1 to $5 per lead, or maybe $3 per lead, what did that cost you? And the fabulous thing is collaboration. You're not only serving, you're not only showing your passion, you're marketing, you're out there, you're bold, you're live, in person. People see you, people get to know you. And you know what? It's you're bringing other people to the forefront, and you can't do it alone. And that's this huge thing is with stages. And if you're talking about collaboration, it's okay if you're having a call to action, whether you're charging for your stage or you're using affiliation as a sponsorship, right? That's a way, that's a stream of income that you can have. So if somebody has a product or service, and let's say I have a set of rings, right? If I have rings and I charge $10 for them and I give my affiliate half and I give them $5 every time I sell one, um, and I'm a speaker on a stage, if I'm a speaker at Colleen's stage, and I say, hey guys, I love you. I want you to know that I'm all about friendship and I'm bringing this ring in here. And just for today, just for you, you can get this friendship ring to remind you of the eternal circle of love conquers all. Whatever your call to action is, you're really passionate. You want to motivate people and you want to make a little money so you can give to your favorite charity. So you affiliate with Colleen and say, hey, Colleen, if I have a call to action with this ring, it's $10, I'll give you five. You get it immediately because I have something called Thrive Cart, or you can do it on your Go High level. And you say, hey, anybody that buys this, you'll immediately get your 50%. Yeah, subtract fees. That's a whole, another conversation, but you're sharing that. You're sharing that moment. People are buying, people are getting that. You're moving the needle. And you say, hey, Colleen, just for you and your fabulous folks that are here, they're friendly. I want to be in service. I want this to happen tomorrow. And maybe for the next 30 days or up to the 365 days. If anybody reaches out and you share this on your newsletter or you share a QR code on LinkedIn, that anytime anybody buys from your link, maybe it's an evergreen product that you share on a podcast. It's just a little something, and it's a little tagline you use. And when your host says, even on a podcast, any last words, Nicole? Yeah, I just want you guys to know, again, the call to action is the friendship ring, and we can have this ring of love forever and ever in the circle of life, and yada, yada, yada. And I just want everybody to remember they're great and amazing. And every time you wear this ring, it's, remember, you used to, like, we talked, I guess, 53 years ago, what was it? Tie a string on your finger so you remember. Maybe that ring takes that example now, right? And so it's psychological, it's passionate, you're making money, and you share that with that person. And that's a great call to action. So talk to your host. If it's a free stage and you're going to do a call to action, A, make sure that the host knows that you're going to ask for money because people shy away from it. Two, make sure that you say, hey, I have a great product and service. If I share this, I'll give you a cut of the deal. And maybe the stage host will change their mind and say, hey, if there's policies, procedures, and there's a standard operating procedure that stage host has, whether it's a podcast, a workshop, anything, a lunch and learn, a masterclass, let them know. Hey, if you come in here, you can have a call to action. Do you have a product or service you want to affiliate? And that could be your evergreen product that comes out immediately, or it's part of your workflow. So there's ways to do that. It just takes your imagination. What's going to work? Don't make it difficult. And definitely, 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 definitely don't make it difficult for your stage host. Well, if you send them over here and you refer me by email and then you send me 12 reminders and then you text me and call me and tomorrow you come by and maybe sometime next week I'm getting ready to give my gift. If you make it difficult for the stage host, just give a PDF, right? Nobody wants to have to do that, right? Because then the frustration is, A, it's not simple. B, it's stressful. And C, who's going to want to do that, right? Do you want to jump? I'm sure, Colleen, you're like, let's just make it easy, right?
I'm thinking that I totally forgot about the daggum string on the finger. I should have left it there for the past 55 years. That would have been brilliant. Then I would remember it. Nicole, I want to talk a little bit more about the collaboration part too, because I want everybody who's listening to be brutally honest. How many times has there been a point in your business where somebody comes back with a rebuttal to your service because it doesn't cover something else that they need? What do I mean by that? Let's say that Nicole is talking to somebody who thinks they're ready to be on stage. But in talking to Nicole and getting ready to secure their speaker spot, they realize that they really don't have their story articulated correctly. And so Nicole says, in collaboration with her storytelling partner, she says, you know what? I think that you could use a little refinement on your storytelling. I'm going to refer you to my partner, and she teaches storytelling. That way you can really articulate your message better. That person then doesn't have a reason to not get on stage because she's going to be able to get with the storytelling coach and get that articulated and get on stage with confidence, right? And what does Nicole get for that? That person is still keeping Nicole top of mind, and Nicole is still bringing money in because there's an affiliation involved with the storytelling coach. Do you see how that works? So many times in my business, I don't want to do everything. I do the CRM. Okay. If you need to get on stage, I have someone I can refer you to. And being able to make those referrals and do those collaborations brings in extra income. So when people are saying no to you, they're not actually saying no, they're saying they're not ready or not yet. And so you need to help facilitate getting them ready to utilize your service, your solution. And so I'm sure that this has happened to many people in their business. You just need to think outside the box with your business and really be open to the collaborations, right? A rising ship rises everybody, right? Rising tides rise all ships. How's that go, Nicole? I don't know what the saying is, but if we rise, one of us rises, let's take us all up there. There are legit billions of people in the world on the internet. Let's get out there and share our businesses and do it in a way that's bringing everybody with us. We can really do this. This is not that difficult. The hardest part is your mindset. Getting over that, I have to do it on my own. Get out of that mindset and get into the who can I collaborate with? Who can I get use their stage to get seen, get heard, share leads, share audiences, share their products as well, and really work together to bring success to both of our businesses. That is just a huge, huge part of being in business. And honestly, the voice of people going out and saying, "Hey, I was on Nicole's um, podcast or her summit. It was amazing. The experience was great. I got all these leads. The interaction was good. The way that she always hosts panels and she always has Q&As. Just saying those things to people really gets them to listen. And it is so much better marketing than ads or somebody just reading a caption somewhere. The voice of people, you've got to be able to unify and share each other's things so that we can all grow. That's really what we're trying to do here is grow businesses, every single one of us. And so you really have to put yourself out there, get up, speak up, and be heard, right? Find a better strategy for your entire business as well as a better strategy for when you're on stage.
Well, that's 100%. It is community and collaboration, and people talk about it all the time, and it's so funny. And then they don't always exemplify it. And the reason is I'm not saying this because I want to hurt somebody or be mean or get on someone's case. It's really to learn from the mistakes because these are pain points. If we are fixing pain points, we have to identify the pain point, and the pain point can be a mistake. It can make you feel a little triggered. It can make you feel like you were, oh my gosh, I can't do this. It's too much for me. What am I doing? How am I doing this? So when you identify that one pain point, what's the solution? And you should be able to bring, and this is where this comes in, is what I do is what I want for you is really to be able to identify that pain point and bring a solution. So perhaps you're not quite ready for the stage. Perhaps you need a speaker, and there's speaker coaches that I can refer you to, and we want to share with you that are going to build a community and help you out, help you long term. They're not going to just look at the right now, and they're not going to look at the simple things. So if you're looking at Toastmasters versus a stage coach, we all need coaches. And if you are a coach, you should hire a coach because you get better as a coach when you hire somebody else and you delegate that. So as a leader, you want to look at that. What does it exemplify for your business? What examples are you giving? If you're going to Toastmasters, they're going to tell you a bunch of ands and ums. If you're worried about getting on stage and you really need structure, it worked for me. I joined and I also had a coach at the same time because it helped me keep focus and it helped me structure my thoughts and what was going on and leave all the BS, the blah, blah, blah that didn't need to be in the speech. So really coming and just cutting everything out and being able to talk. Problem is I couldn't talk enough. I couldn't get enough experience on the stage, but it was good to network with other people. So knowing that, going into Toastmasters, networking with a community, being there live, getting to know people, getting to build a community, getting to be in servitude of other people. Maybe uh, there was a gentleman that was in there that taught me about cause marketing. And I use for cause marketing all the time. I love the for cause marketing because a portion of the proceeds can go to something, whether it's your personal money or money you're making from the stage. What are you using that for? And so it's to open up. It's the people I meet, the things you do, and what does it serve for you in that moment, and how does it help you? And I also had a coach that led a chapter of the National Speakers Association. He was a gentleman who worked businesses. He owned private businesses, but he also spoke for a living. It helped his sales. So he was able to connect with people. He was able to identify. He was able to identify certain mannerisms and just tell me, look, really, you can take certain things out. Let's just cut this out. If we cut this out and put this to the side and we just focus on your hook in this, and the question and circling back at the end to your goal. And that should reflect the end of your talk, should reflect the beginning of your talk. And I went, oh, strategy. So I'm not here to coach you, but I'm here to share with you and collaborate the community I have. You know, we have Frank King coming in. We've got that, and I think we have that date in there, you guys, and we've got authority code coming up. And I want to talk about this. The reason to talk about this is because in order to succeed, and this is what we want for you, and this is where we help others, is we want you to become magnetic, memorable, and followed. People remember you. People will talk about you, even if they're a little disgruntled. Maybe there's something you can help them with. Maybe there's a pain point that they have, and they're coming at you, and see if you can fix that. And it's really entrepreneurs who are running powerful businesses, but how do they influence their audience? And that's what we do. We keep our niche tight. We know where we belong. We know who we work well with. We know who our clients are, our aligned audience. And it's really to get real results. Not, you don't need more credentials. You just need the amplification and to be in the room. And so come support the speakers on that stage. Several of the speakers from Voice Lab, our Voice Lab group, where we're simplifying and you know, and automating business, but also getting you on the stage and sharing with you how powerful you are to use your voice and lead. And remember that you are the face of your business. It's all you, buddy. So a few of those members will be on the stage. So I'm so excited about that. And also, so when Frank King comes in here, it's going to be June. I believe it's June 9th. And he's a TEDx 14 times. He's going to be on the stage for the 14th time. But what's great about that is Frank's a comedian. He's a mental health comedian. So he's able to take his message, his passion, his purpose of mental health, and I believe suicide prevention, and bringing that message on the stage for the 14th time. How awesome. But he brings charm and he brings fun in with it. And he's on the stage, but he's also a speaker coach. So he's been doing this. He was a writer for Jay Leno. So he actually wrote before AI, which is a big thing, I think, you know, bringing that back and saying, hey, he's going to come and share some great stuff and tips and tricks. And we are inviting other people to this master class on June 9th, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys will see that in coming up in Voice Lab. You also see that in the newsletters coming up. This is what we're offering to you. And another thing that's coming, I want to see this, is we're getting the date, should be in the next few days. We'll be able to announce that. There is a great speaker app, and it is a speaker digital app that the gentleman is a speaker himself, a paid speaker, and he got tired of spending 2.5 hours per form to fill out to get on the stage, which is worth the money if you're getting paid for it, right? Or you're getting your money back. But who wants to sit there for 2.5 hours and fill out 100 speaker forms in 30 days? This machine identifies you. It is prompted. There's actual humans behind it. And it is just a fabulous, easy, very intuitive app. But this is something that we're going to share, and Glenn is going to bring in a demo, and he's going to bring in a workshop and actually talk to you about this app. It's very easy to adapt to it and to use it. If you can use ChatGPT or Claude, you can pretty much figure this out. But guess what? He's going to show us how to do this. So that is coming soon. And we've got some other great things, but this is a collaboration. This is what we're talking about. This is how you collaborate with other speakers. And we want to share with you how to be successful and get on the stage and get paid.
I love that, Nicole, that you are talking about Voice Lab, because I am super excited about that group. I feel like the classes we have coming up are top notch. We've had amazing classes in the past. If listeners are interested in literally growing their business through speaking, they need to be in that group. They need to be in that group, taking advantage not only of all of the classes they can attend, but the information you put in there, and then also the opportunity to get on stages for free. I mean, honestly, how many times are you going to be giving away stages? I don't know, but if you get it one time, then it pays for your membership, right? And so why not have that one more place? And also, all of the people that are in there are speakers. And so think of all of the opportunities that people are going to learn of different places that they can go and speak. I think that's huge, and I'm excited to attend these master classes. I think we've worked hard to get the right people in there giving master classes. It's not just anybody. They are all really truly aligned, and I love that. I did drop the link in the chat for the timer that I showed everybody, just because I love that timer. But I want to talk a little bit about back-end conversion. We keep talking about getting on the stage, getting seen, getting heard. But the thing is you can do all of that and still get nowhere. You can. Because if you're not using the leads that you get from there, if you're not capturing those leads, if you're not nurturing those leads, if you're not trying to build relationships with those people, then you're still just getting on stages. You're still not building your business. So you become a speaker and not a business owner, because your business isn't doing anything. You're just speaking. And we don't want that. And so one of the beautiful parts about building out your automations, I love this. And I was actually talking to Sarah Fernandez about this morning on her podcast, is that let's walk through the process. You speak on stage, you give out your lead magnet, people enter your system, they go into your automations, right? They get sent a welcome email, they get sent whatever your lead magnet is in a clickable format inside your email. So they're having another touch point with you. And then you send them some follow-up emails explaining your lead magnet that you sent, diving into that, maybe answering questions that were brought up during the summit, maybe pointing them in the direction of your collaborators as well, maybe redirecting them and allowing them the opportunity to get on your newsletter. But what you can do is you can go into your automations, and you can click and you can see who is where in the automations. This is called a pipeline. You can see where they're at. And then if you really want to build those relationships, but maybe you don't want to be like, hey, I'm Colleen. Maybe that's too forward for some of you. So what you do is you say, oh, Nicole just received her second email in this automation. I'm going to go find Nicole on LinkedIn, and I'm going to engage with her content. And she's going to see me there as well. So not only is she getting an email from me that she's opening, she's clicking on, she's hearing my voice there, but now I'm going to engage in her content on social media. Maybe I'm going to see in her social media if she's speaking somewhere, and I'm going to go support her. This is called building relationships. You're capturing the lead, you're nurturing the lead by building a relationship with them. And it takes practice, it takes putting yourself out there. But really, when you continue to do that over and over, those people see you. Not only you're popping up multiple times in their email feed, but now you're on their social media as well, and you can see where they're at. You can also go into their social media and see what pain points are touching them that you can maybe offer solutions to, even if they're not yours. Offer your collaborators connections, right? Maybe just shoot them a DM on LinkedIn and say, hey, just so you know, I know this person does this. I think you should meet them, and do an introduction if they're interested, right? So really just build those relationships. Building those relationships and converting your existing audience into clients is super important and foundational in scaling your business. You cannot just get on stage and get seen and heard, because like everything else, we are human and we forget. When your voice quits, we forget about you. It is just, and that's the way it is in all of our relationships in life. You've got to continually be reaching out. If they don't want on your list, they will unsubscribe, but continually reach out, offer touch points for them, offer them articles, put links to articles that pertain to whatever your subject is that you're discussing. Put links to your own articles, put links to places where they can find you, links to where you network, put links to tools that you use. Anything that you have that you would share with a friend when you're talking on this subject, you should be sharing with your audience in your email nurture sequences. And
Yeah.
I think that's just, you've got to step up and intentionally build relationships. It is your best marketing.
And part of that is going even back, just going back to that timer. I know this is kind of odd, but you are building relationships because you're showing respect for yourself as a leader to say, I'm not going to go over time. I have a timer. I set my phone. And I always, when I show up on stage, I always just, hey, I'm so glad to be here. I edify the host. Thank you for having me. It's great talking to you. Whatever summit, I look forward to this. Let's get into it. And then I go into my talk and then just put some things in the audience. Again, that's housekeeping. That's sharing and thanking the stage host, for being there. And then sharing it at the end. Usually I have a QR code with the logo for the event on there. Like, hey, upgrade to the VIP. I want to do a shout out for that stage host. But the timer, the reason this is important is not only valuing you, valuing your time, being professional, but what are you showing your audience? You know what you're doing. You practiced. You've got it. You shine. Whether you have notes or bullet points or you're just speaking off the cuff, you know your time. And a good stage host, I asked the stage host, hey, we're talking for 25 minutes. Just want to make sure. That's not a problem because you're being personal about it. Hey, I've got my time. I have seen high paid people do this. There is nothing wrong with this at a smaller level. Now, if you're on a big stage and it's thousands of dollars and you're getting paid to speak, that's a little bit differently. You want it set up. The reason I do this, also, another key reason to do this, you'll learn this little secret here, is because stage hosts love to change their mind. Just saying. Not only do they change their mind, like the wind changes. Remember, a lot of us are theater kids and we're techies, so you know those people, and then you've got the sales people in that. So if you think about the psychology of the people that you're working with, you're giving a gift to yourself because now you can show up and shine and you did your homework. But also, not only that, sometimes not only are they divas and they may have changed, but think about, you don't know what happened behind the stage. You don't know what happened with the other speaker. You don't know that maybe somebody's not showing up. If somebody doesn't show up, I had a 25-minute talk, now it's 40 minutes, and I want to talk to the audience. How cool is that? You're filling in. You're supporting the host. You're telling the audience that you depend on them. I see many, 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 many speakers, even if they show up and stay to support the stage host and to fill an audience seat, right? You want butts and seats. They don't respond to the other speakers. I sat there in this last month in several stages. It was one of the stages that I think we were both on a month ago, Colleen. And even, I showed up to make sure that I supported you and I wanted to support the stage host. So I stayed an hour before and an hour later. I think I stayed a couple hours before because I was able to get some work done and popped in and out of the camera so people could see my face and engage. I supported all those other speakers, and when it was time for me to speak, I didn't even get a clap. I didn't even get an emoji. I didn't get a reaction. I didn't get no kudos from the other speakers. I didn't get anything. And when I put questions or answers and cheered them on when they were talking, they didn't even look at the message. So stage host and speakers, remember, support the other speakers. That's what you're there for. And you know what? Those other speakers are aligned with you. That's your potential client right there. So if you're on an aligned stage, those are your potential clients. And if you're banging it out and you've given this really rock star presentation, those speakers are going to want to come back. Those speakers are going to want to find you. Those speakers are going to want to get your book, that, you know, that book you wrote that you forget to bring with you and talk about that kind of sits on the back shelf. We want to bring that out to the open and they'll come buy it for you. So let's engage. So when you support other people, just know that sometimes there's keyboard warriors. There's somebody out there saying stuff. You could just delete them, get them out of the room. You can eject them. No worries, it's going to happen. But also know that there's so many people out there talking about collaboration and support. And that's not what they do. But we're the real deal. So we want to know that we support you and know how important it is for people. And I get references out of it. I get shout outs from the stage host. Isn't that great? Like when you showed up one time to talk, I know the stage host was so excited to see you because they knew that you had your game together. They knew that you were there. They knew that you were supportive. And they knew that, wow, what a breath of fresh air, because the person that was before them was kind of like a Ferris Bueller. Bueller, Bueller. And you came in there all, you know, just with great bubbly energy. And they were so excited because you turned the room around, Colleen. And that's what you could do with your energy and your talk. Even if you're just getting that energy for 30 minutes, remember that that's huge.
You know, I want to say too that I want to just play a little bit of a numbers game because I'm all about the numbers. So let's say that you want to make $120,000 this year and you are selling a $47 product and you are not building relationships. Let's say that you're just getting followers, because I remember a time when they said, create a $9 product and sell it so many times and you'll make this much money. This is true. But in order to do that, in order to sell a $47 product to just followers, let's say that you have a 10% sales rate, which I know is high. That means you have to have 25,000 followers. Let's say that you have a very curated audience. These are leads that you have nurtured, you have built relationships with. They know you, they recognize you, they trust you because you've built that relationship. Guess how many people you have to have in your audience to make that same amount of money? 6,383. So 6,383. That's a huge difference. Fourth the size of the audience, right? Because then you have a 40% sale rate. And so this is the value that we're talking about when building your audience and building those relationships. The idea is to really have a curated audience that knows, likes, and loves you, right? And they really want to embrace what you're selling and enjoying your world. And really by building those relationships, and you can do that, like we said, through collaborations, through getting on the summits, but you really have to build the relationships in order to lighten your workload and have a greater impact quicker. That's scalability. That is absolutely scalability. More people doesn't fix it. A better strategy will.
100%. I think we should end on that note. That's a great takeaway. And looking at the numbers, I know you've taught me a lot about the numbers. We are out, you guys. It is 10 a.m. We're glad to see you.
We'll see you tomorrow for Pain Point Podcast.
Yes, and I've got Andrew Kuberman on there. Very interesting guy, you guys. That will be posted and up in just a second, so you can get the links to go to the YouTube. So it's on this YouTube channel and in my LinkedIn, and you guys can see that. That'll be live also on Rumble. So you're going to get some solutions to your businesses and life's pain points. We are out. Let me put the commercial on.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
We'll see you tomorrow for my masterclass as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Don't forget Colleen's
serve them.
masterclass. You guys, that's in the links as well. So click that, sign up, come in, support. You're actually going to learn something. You'll get some takeaways.
Yeah.
You're showing up. You're posting. You're speaking. You're doing everything they told you would grow your business. So why is it not converting? Because visibility is only half the equation. Getting attention is easy. Turning that attention into clients takes strategy. VoiceLab was built to solve that. This is where front-end visibility meets back-end conversion. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, and use podcasts, summits, and workshops to grow your audience and generate real leads. Then you learn what most people never build. A system that captures those leads, follows up, nurtures relationships, and turns interest into revenue. Email and newsletter strategy that actually gets responses. Workflows, not just more noise. Real connection that leads to real business. Inside VoiceLab, you are not guessing. You're learning the how. You're implementing in real time. You're building a business that works even when you are not constantly chasing attention. Because here's the truth. If you don't have visibility, no one knows you exist. If you don't have systems, nothing converts. VoiceLab gives you both, so you can stop performing for attention and start building momentum that pays you back. If you are ready to grow your authority, expand your reach, and finally turn visibility into income, join Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi in the VoiceLab. Scan the QR code, join VoiceLab group on the school platform.